Hi, I'm Malachi Anderson. I am a certified personal trainer, and I'm going to train today primarily focusing on strengthening the upper body as well as the core. We're also going to do a dynamic warm-up though to start off with. So without further ado, if you have a lacrosse ball or something similar to this, we're going to use that to rub on the bottoms of the feet, and I'll show you why. As part of a dynamic warm-up, oftentimes I'll train individuals and we'll focus on mobility. So we're just going to do a simple test, see where your hamstring flexibility is at. I can get to about the floor right now, but I'm a little tight from some running yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a lacrosse ball or something like this. And if you've already trained with me, you know what this does. We're going to take it on the bottoms of your feet and really dig in. It's pretty uncomfortable, but really dig in into the arch of your feet. You're going to find some hot spots, almost like a gravelly like texture on the bottom of your feet. So really dig in and rub. It should feel mildly uncomfortable, but this will open up your flexibility in your hamstrings, and your legs, your lower back, and that will help as part of a dynamic warm-up. By dynamic, I mean movable. So contrary to popular belief, static stretching has been found to not be very beneficial when used as a warm-up. So we're going to do some stretching, but it's going to be moving stretching, dynamic warm-up. So we're going to do some stretching, dynamic usually meaning under 4 seconds, according to NSCA standards. Go ahead and switch feet if you haven't already. Really dig in. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds. Not necessarily per foot. We're going to switch back and forth, but all right. Switch back and forth progressively. Ouch. It's pretty uncomfortable, but it works marvelously. So we're going to stretch again. You'll notice I can practically put my palms on my hands before, so I gain like 3 inches of mobility just by doing that simple dynamic warm-up exercise by rubbing something on the bottom of your feet. So without further ado though, we're going to keep going, and I want you to use your hands and pull your knee to your chest. So this is a stretch. Like I said, this is not a stationary stretch. You don't want to hold any longer than 4 seconds really, or at least no longer than 8. I'm just doing it 1 to 2 seconds because that's what I prefer. So that's not going to slow you down. If you hold too long, it'll actually activate the Golgi tendon organ, and that would inhibit performance. So you can do that at the end of your workouts or when you're already warm. But if you're going to do strength exercises like I am after this, you want to make sure that you're doing that dynamic warm-up or even a light walk or something of that nature. Right now we're doing some gunslingers. This is kind of a crowd favorite at my school. Gunslingers because it looks like the Wild West, right? So let's get your shoulders activated. Just a good general warm-up, get that heart rate up a little bit. I'm not necessarily counting reps, but just overall general tissue warm-up. Okay, I'm gonna do some light arm circles here, starting real small, going a little bit bigger. All right, and we're gonna go back again. Small and bigger. Try to get your neck engaged too, down and up. There you go. Gunslingers again. I tend to be really tight in my shoulders, so I like to spend a lot of time warming those up, especially since we're doing an upper body workout right now after this. Arm circles again. All right. Shake it out a little bit. All right. I'm going to do a little bit of lower body too, because we're going to need that for your core. So what I'll have you do is do a skater stretch. So skaters, it's like rollerblading or hockey skating, but we're doing it dynamically. So just hold it for 1 to 2 seconds and then switch. And here's a side view. Be careful, this does require some balance, so make sure there's no sharp objects lying around. Also, it kind of looks like salsa dancing. Not quite. All right. Gonna do knee to chest again. Back and forth, alternating. Ooh, I almost fell over there. I have really low arches, and so I'm a little unstable in my ankles. I need to work on that. All right. And we'll go heel to butt as well. These are also great warm-ups before soccer. If you like to play soccer recreationally like I do, go ahead and use some of these. Also, I'm using the same hand as my leg. So you don't want to cross over and pull too hard. I'm also using the door frame basically to help me balance, and that's okay. Still warming up. All right. So we're gonna do what I like to call walkouts, because that's what I think of, but some people call inchworm. I'm gonna do it reverse because that's easier to film, but same idea. So we start bent over, and then we reach our legs back while staying in kind of a stretch-like position. So reaching with the legs back. Might be a little hard to see me here, but then we're going back up. And I'm gonna do a reverse as well, so pardon the view. So it's like tiptoeing back and forth, reverse inchworm or walkout, whatever you call it. We'll stand up there. What this is going to do is it's going to stretch out the hamstrings, the back of your leg, as well as your low back. And you're going to start to activate some of those core muscles, which we'll use later in the workout. As you might be able to tell, I'm already breathing a little heavy, which is a good sign because that means I'm starting to warm up. All right, so, and we're going to shift gears now and actually focus on the upper body, because we're going to start transitioning to pull-ups. If you have a pull-up bar like this one, go ahead and grab it, but we won't use it quite yet. So we're going to go to Y's, T's, and W's. So go into a Y, and for this one, it's an isometric exercise where we're going to use it as a warm-up to really activate those traps and lats. It's a good time too to focus on belly breathing. So I'm actually contracting here, my upper traps, and I'm also breathing deeply using my core. So it's like a singer opera style breath. We're going to hold and breathe. when you're belly breathing like I am, it's kind of like you're bracing for somebody who's going to hit you. So if a basketball flies out of nowhere, it's going to come in right for your gut. You kind of contract. That's the muscles that should feel tight when doing some belly breathing. All right, we're going to bring it down into a W and really contract. So it should feel real tight in your shoulders, but not tense up here, more so down. Notice all my shoulders, they're tight, but they're not up here. It's down and back. Staying real tight in the upper back. Continue to hold. All right, and release. Take some deep breaths. All right, we're going to go again for a Y with belly breaths. Go into a W. Notice how I'm pointing my thumbs straight back. I'm being a little bit over dramatic, but the breathing is really important because that can help strengthen your core. All right. And roll those shoulders back again. Look up. You might feel a little tight in your upper back. You might even feel like you're going to get a cramp or something. That's pretty normal, pretty typical. All right. All right. Now's the hard part. So if you have your pull-up bar, I'm going to put that in the door frame. Make sure that it's secure and that it's not wobbling around. All right. I should mention, I'm going to do several exercises with the pull-up. If you're not able to do these exercises, then a quick regression would be to go in the upward position if it's low enough for you, if you're taller than I am, which isn't taking much. I'm only 5'7". But if you need to, grab a chair, and you can use that as a regression. As long as it's a stable chair, I'm not gonna recommend too much on that because that's kind of a liability in a sense. Be really careful. But if you can't do a full pull-up, you can start by climbing up on a chair or a surface that's stable and then going up and regressing that way, going into a negative. So I'll show you how to do that, and we'll do that as kind of a warm-up into the pull-up. So I'm just going to start high and then lower myself down. I'm going into the neutral, which for me seems the easiest. However, you can also go chin up grip, which is palms facing toward you, or standard pull-up, which is palms facing outward. So I'm going to start high, up at chin level, and then lower yourself down. I'm hanging here, my feet are dangling, and then I'm going to put my feet out in front of me. This is where that belly breathing comes into play. All right, I'm going to put my feet down. Just using this as a warm-up, entry-level pull-ups. All right, going back up again. If you got a neutral grip, that's great. If you're here for the chin-up, that's great as well. Or if you're here for the standard pull-up, great. Going back up. Coming down real slow. And putting your feet out in front of you. All right. Now let's try it twice in a row. Ready? If you need to hit pause and take a breather, that's fine. Try to get your feet out in front of you, hold it, and go back up. If you're doing it off of a chair or a surface that gets your chin right up to the level, if that's all you can do right now, that's fine. Just climb up on that chair, get the chin level, and lower yourself down. That's called a negative, and that's a great place to start. All right. Next, we're going to vary it up. I'm going to go to standard pull-up. So standard pull-up, you want your wrists in that position. You want to start making sure to have a tight core, and I'm going to have my feet out at about this angle, kind of a C shape, right? All right, going for reps. And back up. Just gonna go for 5. Let's do one more. I think I need this more than you guys. All right, take a little bit of a breather. Calm that heart rate down. All right, I'm gonna vary it up. I'm gonna do the chin up grip. So it's a supinated grip, like soup. Feet in front again if you can. Big breath. Going down slow. And back up again. And one more. All right, I'm really feeling it on these. Breaking a sweat. And wait about 15 seconds. And go back for another set. All right. I'm gonna switch back to neutral because I'm really feeling it. Going for 6 more reps. Here we go. Oh, I'm kipping. I'm cheating. Let's do one more. All right. Next, we're going to change it up and go into our pushing exercises. I'm feeling it. Hopefully you are too. I need to get you sweating. All right. I'm going to set this down on the floor. So I'm new to this, but I'm going to do what we can. All right. So hands about shoulder width apart. That's significant because what we're attempting to do is to build those lats and also protect the humeral head. Because oftentimes when people go too wide and where they're up like this, they can pop out their humeral head. So this is it's a more difficult way of doing push-ups, but it's also more beneficial, more appropriate for even older populations and just athletes in general. Doesn't put their shoulders at risk. So without further ado, shoulder width apart, elbows pointed back and going down. Your head should remain approximately neutral If you want to point it forward, that's okay, but it's a little better on your neck with your chin facing inward, like a double chin. All right. And if you need to drop to your knees, I should mention, not everybody can do a full push-up. So if you need to drop to your knees, that's perfectly fine. What you'd want to do then is to actually bring your pelvis down. It's a little hard to see due to space, but you want to contract your glutes and then put yourself in a more of a what's the word? More of like a neutral pelvis rather than butt up real high like that. We want to actually bring the glutes down, keep them tight, and again, be real tight in the core. So with this, because it's such a wide range of body types out there, and the push-up is appropriate for a huge variety of populations, we're going to basically go till fatigue, and by that I mean tiredness. After doing all those pull-ups, you're going to probably need a little bit of recovery time. I'm taking these breaks intentionally too. To maximize strength benefits and power, the NSCA recommends like 2, 3, even longer than that minutes in between sets. Since this is mainly strength, it's okay to have a couple minutes in between. If you're going for hypertrophy or for trying to lose weight, you'd want to bring that recovery time down and keep it minimal. All right, going back. I'm gonna try for 10 right here. Let's go. Slower on the way down, more powerful on the way up. We want to be safe about how we do these. Again, keeping those elbows tight and toward the body. Lost count of my reps, but that's okay. A little bit of a break. If you need to get some water, go for it. Gonna get that heart rate down because I'm sweating. That was a good chance too to stay wide in your posture. We learned about this thing called power posing in school, and it's really interesting. Pretty new research, but it's been proven effective to raise your testosterone levels by getting in a wide posture. Even like the Victor pose or Superman pose actually raises your testosterone versus being cuddled up in a ball. So stay wide, get plenty of big belly breaths in between sets. All right. Make a good set. If you can get to 12, even 15, go for it. If not, 5, 6, whatever you got. If you need to drop to your knees, go for it. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. Let's do one more set after this. Get you fatigued. If you're new to this, if you haven't worked out in a long time, it's okay to just do 2 sets. 2 sets of 8, 2 sets of 10, 2 sets of 12 with a couple minutes in between. That's fine. You're probably going to feel sore off of that, and that's okay. If you need a more greater challenge, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 10, 12, it's a body weight exercise. And as you get used to this, you're going to need more challenge with progressive overload. So go for it. Ready? Gonna go for, let's do 15 again. Here we go. All right. Okay, so we got some upper body push just now, and before that, We had some upper body pull. Being that I'm creating this video partly to fulfill a requirement for my program at school, this can be quite specific for several individuals who are looking to increase overall strength, or maybe specific goals like increasing upper body strength, increasing mass in your chest, mass in your upper back. Partly the reason too with pairing the pull-up and the push-up exercise together. That way you're still getting an upper body pull with an upper body push, which is significant for long-term strength gains. You want to be able to balance out pulls and pushes and opposite ends of the body. So we're going to be done with upper body push. We're going to transition to some lower body stuff and some core stability. I'm going to put this back up here. Hopefully that'll work. All right. We're going to go back to the pull-up bar. And there is regression. Easier way of doing this, if you so choose, would be on the ground, lying face down. Although with the camera angle now, it's a little bit harder to do that. But basically, you'd lie down and be in a supinated position, head facing up, and you'd pull your leg toward your chest, and then you do both, and you try to keep your belly stable. So instead of doing a crunch, which is also beneficial for the abs, but not necessarily great for core stability because you get into that tilt position, we're going to be doing a reverse crunch using the pull-up bar. So you can grab neutral or regular pull-up, supinated like a chin-up grip, whatever works. I'm going to do the neutral. It's a little more comfortable for me. So we're going to start, if you got a tall enough door frame, you can just let your legs hang. Mine touch the floor. So we're going to go back and then up. So back and then pulling up. This is a core stability exercise. You're not necessarily wanting to bend at the core. You're feeling the crunch motion, but you're more so wanting to keep stable. So you're going to feel the pull in your abdominal muscles, as well as your glutes, if you're doing like I'm doing, where you're pushing back. I lost count of my reps, but if you want to go for like 10, that'd be pretty good. Take a short rest, do about 30 seconds. Now would be a good time for a water break if you're thirsty like I am. All right, let's go for set number 2. Starting legs back, contracting upward, going back again. Feeling it. All right, we're gonna shift gears here. Do some mountain climbers. Got 2 sets in the reverse crunch. Now we're gonna do some mountain climbers. Again, core stability exercise. Using a lot of anterior core. So bringing the knee up and then back down. So we're alternating. Feeling the tension in the core, but trying to stay stable. If you have a TRX at home, this is a great TRX exercise as well. You can do it with your feet actually hanging up. All right, keep going. Try to get a few more reps in. And if you need to take a break in the middle of this and then hop back on, go for it. That's what videos are for, right? All right, here you go. Stretch out those abs, contract those glutes, reach up high. Stay wide. All right, set 2. Here we go. Now these group of exercises, I'm using this primarily for strength building. You can also do this exercise though. It's a great cardio exercise. Some people will do this, build overall cardio fitness, use it as part of a Metcon. They might do like sprinter fast speed with this, but I'm just not gonna do that for this particular video. If you're not breaking a sweat by now, well, you're either in really good shape or you're not trying hard enough. Whew. All right, stay wide, reach up, stretch out those abs. Another thing you can do, which feels great after some core exercises, is to reach down, peel off the ground, just hold it for a little bit. And then you can also pair that by swinging back. I think they call it an obedient child pose or prayer pose. That opens up your hips. Good hip stretch. All right. Going forward and back. All right. Now hop back up. We're going to do a little bit of lower body because it's so important in strengthening the glutes. So what I'm going to do is just a body weight RDL. And what that looks like is, most significantly, it's a hip hinge. So take your hands, put them on your belly, and take that belly breath in again. You want to be firm in the belly.